We're exponentially explode. It's not about logic anymore. It's about money chasing momentum. Now, why is the banana zone about to begin? Well, number one, M2 money supply is expanding globally. Central banks are loosening and liquidity is running across the board. Now, as you can see here, the M2 money supply is pretty much what controls the global liquidity, right? Here was a sell signal. Oh, so sorry. Such a small little sell of US Federal Reserve M2 money supply. What a little dip, right? I mean, look at how that obliterated the stochastic, etc. We're now breaking all-time highs in US M2 global liquidity supply. And usually once we break all-time highs, as you can see from historical data, when the moving averages shift to the upside, they generally sit for a number of years. Now, taking a look at this was from 31 May 2011, and then only in 31 May 22, that's a total of 11 years exactly, did we get the signal to sell, right? So I would expect us for the next at least 11 years, and have a look. Every single time there's buy, it goes for a very, very extended period of time. We have now approximately, how's that? How is that? 31 May of 2024, we had the buy signal on US global M2 money supply, which is now bouncing off of the EMA ribbon, which is gathering momentum. Like I've just expressed, M2 is gathering momentum, which is going to start a liquidity rush into all markets: stock markets, property, digital assets, crypto, financial instruments, all kinds of things. Are you businesses, are you prepared to come and join making some crazy gains this cycle with me? If you are, make sure to tune in. I'm bringing you such, in South Africa we call it KIF Alpha, my friends. So if you appreciate it, make some noise for the channel. Now, the second reason is we have officially had the sell signal on the daily time frame on the Bitcoin dominance. We're breaking below this falling wedge or bearish bear flag pattern, which I showed you on my previous video. I think it was this one or this one here, where we were finely tuned to where we could potentially just literally cascade right down to. So one thing you need to notice is that when it starts dropping, it's like a waterfall. It literally just drops like water falling, like a waterfall. There's no other better explanation for that at this moment. So I'd like to just highlight to you that on the monthly time frame, we have also hit the very, very hard sell. Okay, now bearing one thing in mind, we had a sell here, and then we had a strong pull down, and then a massive buy back up. I don't know if that will happen, and we might bounce off of this area and get a buy signal to the 72% before we actually really get a true altcoin season. I can't tell, my friends. I can't tell. I certainly don't have a genie in a lamp. But what I can say to you is that when Bitcoin is on the daily time frame getting a buy signal, like I've showed to you on my last video, it is time to buy. We have the MACD, the stochastic RSI, and we have the buy signal here. And we also have a very strong and clear bounce off of the baseline of the EMA ribbon, horizontal support areas, and a retest of the previous high here. So for us, how does this look now, right? We essentially have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder pattern that have formed. We have broken out at this level. We have retested and found some support on this horizontal, pretty much what, $113,000 level. Now, my friends, does that not tell us that we are due for the next leg up, which could possibly take us in Bitcoin much, much higher, which means that we could get a bounce up here on the on the Bitcoin dominance. However, the weekly has signaled we are rejecting. It's pulled up here the last 2 weeks, and it's rejecting from here again. When we break down, only when we break down. Yes, altcoins are pumping, so it's a good time to get in. I will show you my trades shortly for us to have a peek into. I've entered more trades and I'm waiting for other positions. Now, before I continue, once Bitcoin dominance drops below and closes a candle somewhat like this below the 60.58% dominance, that is the moment I would expect altcoin season and waterfall cascading to happen on Bitcoin dominance, and your altcoin season to truly have the pump of liquidity we have all been waiting for. And if you have been waiting for crazy amounts of time and been patient enough to be here with me, continuing to love and support the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the Crypto Bliss, and of course share a thumbs up on the video for the community. So now there are, without going into further other charts at this point of the video, right now the other three, very quickly I want to touch base on topics about the indicators of inflows. There are massive inflows into crypto ETFs, real world assets, places like, or businesses like BlackRock, Fidelity, and TradeFi players that are onboarding billions and billions of dollars into the ETFs. DeFi total value locked is surging, going from 60 billion to over 120 billion dollars in the last 6 months, which is pretty much double, right? Yield is back and activity is absolutely rising. The last point is that retail search and wallet activity is exploding. Google Trends for crypto, buy altcoins, and wallet creations are at bull levels. The pump machine is on, and this time it's global, my friends. Massively global and super powerful. So without another doubt or moment of hesitation in this video, you can still see that we are not yet in an altcoin season. I keep reiterating it to you. However, the coins are pumping. So I'll go through that with you in a moment, and why now is an excellent time to position yourself for altcoin season. So it's not altcoin season. This is confirming, and truly, this is a beautiful upgrade from Blockchain Center on this on the index here. So thank you to Blockchain Center. I really love this new upgrade. Shout out. So altcoin season, days since the last season was 240. Bitcoin is usually 28 days. 28 days between the seasons, right? In other words, Bitcoin's pumping like every 28 days odd, even if it has strong pullbacks, but that's about the average. Whereas altcoin season, when it has its season, is 240. Average days between seasons is 66 on altcoins and 17 on Bitcoin, meaning Bitcoin pumps every 17 to 28 days, basically. The longest streak without a season on altcoins is 486 days, and Bitcoin is 191 days. The average length, those are obviously bear markets, right? Average length of season is usually 18 days for altcoins. That's a very, very short time. And Bitcoin about 10 days, right? So altcoins have more pump than Bitcoin, essentially. The longest season for altcoins. So this altcoin cycle that we're expecting could be anywhere between 18 to 117 days, right? That's not very long at all. Whereas Bitcoin does 10 to 126 days of season cycles. Now the total days of the season, 404 odd, and Bitcoin is about 953. So in other words, for every 953 days, which is actually double what altcoins are, your Bitcoin is making you money. And that's why I continue to reiterate in my videos that the biggest gains and the take profit strategy that I continue to share with you is always back into Bitcoin and cash, and obviously rotation into other altcoins while we are having this cycle. Now, that's why you are with me on this channel, because I reveal that super strong alpha just for you. Now let's get back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin confirmed, right? We're getting the bounce here. We're going to tap out of this. This is a bull flag here. Flag, pole, flag itself. Come on, guys. You can see it. It's so obvious. Now, Ethereum is looking mighty bullish, and Ethereum has had a buy signal about 4 days ago already, right? So if you're only getting into Ethereum now, well, you're about to break the 4,000. We're just like $160 away from breaking that 4,000 mental attitude or mental level. Once we break that 4,000, we're going to very fast hit up here to the 5,000 level at this peak here. Yes, I have no doubt we're going to get some resistance at that point. Then at that point, cool, man. Just like whatever. You will see ETH hit your $10,000. I'm pretty confident over the next couple weeks and months, okay? We have pretty much 4 months remaining of the year ahead. And when I show you some of the charts that I'm going to share with you in a short moment, you'll see why. It's important to know that the buy signals are all there. The total crypto market cap is doing the same as Bitcoin, with a shoulder, a head, and shoulder, breakout, retest, and off we go. Bitcoin dominance collapsing. The ETH BTC pair continues to create higher highs, higher lows, and is now breaking out of this previous little area over here with a very strong bounce off of the EMA ribbon. After opening up very nicely, I expect Ethereum to strongly start to outperform Bitcoin, and the next level that we would see this is very likely somewhere in this region, getting us back into this very long-term ascending triangle, really bringing us back up to this area somewhere around here, which is plus minus the 0.051 level. From there, my friends, we probably have some level of pullback. I mean, we could get up to the 5 level, but really the next levels up are huge. We up here, and then we'll see where we go from there, right? Nobody has a genie in a lamp, but really, if we're sitting down here at 3 and we potentially go up here, you've doubled your Bitcoin holdings by taking ETH. Now, obviously, so many people really swear by ETH and honestly would hold more ETH than they would Bitcoin. For me, Bitcoin is sound money, and that just is the end of the story for me. Total 3, which is our altcoins, we're doing the same thing, bouncing, buy signal, EMA ribbon, flag pole, flag, getting ready to punch up through here. My friends, tomorrow's Friday. By the end of this week, I propose that we're probably somewhere above the $1 trillion level in Bitcoin again. And now you're going to say, well, that's only $8 billion, Kiara. Well, my friends, better $8 billion come into this space, okay, and get us up to at least this level here, which actually is, how ironically, that very strong resistance level there. Okay, we'll touch base. The likelihood of us getting even a little bit higher, at least 10, 12, 15, 20 billion coming into this space over the next few days. I see it. I don't have a genie lamp, but the charts are all telling us and giving us the signals. Now, of course, and when I started this video, this was not a buy signal. Actually, this wasn't here yet, but guess what? Now it is. So now I'm confirming to you on multiple charts, Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is going up. The USDT market cap has had a strong sell signal, breaking below the EMA ribbons, breaking down in a downward sloping trend line. We've got some way to go down, my friends. So sell your cash, buy yourself some crypto without this video being financial advice. Now is the time to set your positions, because the remainder of the cycle is going to be very, very quick. Others starting to find a very strong baseline over here. Hasn't had a signal yet, but I have no doubt within the next day or two, breaking out of this zone, we're going to have a buy signal. Here is a coin, Deep Book Protocol. Has just had a buy signal yesterday. This is good to buy on spot if you want to take a trade. You can use my Bybit link down below. Look at where we're at on that position right now. If you were to take a trade, we very likely end up coming probably up here, pulling back, and then breaking through. But you also stand the chance of it kind of doing that. Okay, so right now is a decent position to consider, with a very beautiful stop loss underneath that level. I wouldn't put it so tight. Honestly, I would probably put it even under that level right there. So if we're to do a sort of a risk to reward ratio, I mean, really, let's be real here. If we were to put that under there, you're risking 34%, so it's a high risk. But if we are to get us just to the peak here at the all-time high, that's 124%. So it's not a bad trade, right? You could do that on spot. Leverage would be a lot more risky. Leverage, if you're doing a 10x, that would be 340%. So you'd probably have to have a much tighter stop loss. And that stop loss would probably then come underneath there. Still quite a strong stop loss. But at the end of the day, that's a much better trade over there. So you've got two choices. Wait for the breakout and pullback. Or take the position now with a wider level of risk, which sometimes I don't really suggest. But depending on where it's at, I would say to you, don't chase the green. Buy in the red. Take profits in the green and use those profits to buy in the red. It's the simple narrative of what you need to fundamentally consider doing with your trading. We'll get to my trades and my coins that I have in mind. I'm not going to show you the charts on my coins. I'm just going to talk to you about them, and then I'm going to show you the actual trades that I'm in and the updates from my previous videos. Bitcoin is getting absolutely ready for the next cycle. Here we had a 30,000%, 50,000%, 10,000, 2,000. What are we going to have here in this percentage, my friend? Even if we have 1,000% gain from the bottom, let's go and actually get our calculator out so that you can see for your own very eyes. 15,000 was the bottom. plus 1,000% takes us to 150K. Do we go up to 150K? It's not a bad level. I mean, we could go from 100. I mean, if we did 2,000, that's up to 3,000. And when you have a closer look here, you can see right here that level is about 340,000. Now, my target is still remaining 300,000. Whether it gets there by my target date, the 25th of October, 2025, is a totally different story, my friends, because the cycle is quite different. It is going a lot slower, and it's kind of going just slow steps up here. As you can see, it's been building rather than rushing. Okay. And when things are built slowly, they last much longer. So as I pointed out, the clock is ticking. We're retesting the breakout of the head and shoulders here. Okay. And right now, as you can see, BTC monthly returns. Generally in August and September, we have quite a lot more red months than we do green months. But once we get past that, that's when we have massive increases like 28, 40% increases, 50%, 60% increases on Bitcoin, where the average is really the average in August is kind of plus 1.5%. In September is minus 3%. In October is about 21%, November about 46%, December about 5%. So remember, this is all compounding returns on the monthly time frame. And if we come down and we have a little closer look at this very, very beautiful quarterly, monthly, and weekly price performance chart, BTC price is the yellow. Okay, we have quarterly performance, which is the lilac, monthly the red, and weekly the blue. Now 6th of November we had all of this performance here. We had a 400 and so no, that's December 2017. We had a 420% price performance increase. Right now, the very interesting thing around that is that in this cycle here, now that was that cycle's peak, right? In this cycle's peak, we had a 260% price performance, but yet in this cycle, we have not even yet hit our highs, but the price has started to outperform the performance of the asset in itself, meaning that the asset is value is now being realized much more, meaning that the pump that we could be expecting to come in could be still much greater than what we're seeing here right now. If you agree, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, Ethereum is looking quite along the same lines here, where we have 17 May 27, we had a 1,500% performance increase. Over here, we had a 276%. And here right now, we're really at just 105%. Really, it's not very much at all, considering where we at and where we've come from. Ethereum is somewhat sitting in a similar boat with a usual August of about just under 6%. September bleeds to minus 6%, but then we start to have more rallies over the next couple months, generally compounding in January, February, March, April, and May. And that's why I would say that we could possibly expect altcoin season really to start absolutely pumping from possibly October, November, where Ethereum starts to gain its momentum into the season, where it starts to outperform Bitcoin and perform greatly as an asset itself and give massive double-digit returns on the monthly time frame, and therefore leading to much more powerful and gainy altcoin explosions. So, my friends, we're in August right now. I would say we still have September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Honestly, by May next year, I would have rotated out of all the assets, okay, other than Bitcoin, and maybe holding a little bit of Ethereum, and then certainly holding cash positions. But I would have rotated out of all of my altcoins right back into Bitcoin mostly, and cash, and tiny bit of Ethereum. By that point, because you can see then at that point, Ethereum starts to absolutely bleed. Now, ironically, the average monthly return on Ethereum, we only really have 2 negative months here, which are June and September. The rest of the time, Ethereum just pumps. So that's why we do have seasonality in altcoins, that altcoins do go up and down and have hard fluctuations. But that's the point. You're here to make money. You're not here to date them. You're not here to attach yourself to them. You're here to trade. You're here to trade and make money. So for that, I want to see some noise down in the comments below before I get to my trades very much shortly. But lastly, what I do want to share with you is, of course, having a much closer look here at the monthly, the previous months, okay, Bitcoin, Binance Bitcoin liquidation heat map. And as we can see, we're sitting up at about $318 million of potential liquidations around this zone right here. Now that zone looks like the 120, and once we get back up to the 120, it's going to be like Pac-Man, okay? Bitcoin is going to behave like Pac-Man, chewing and gobbling and running up. It's going to have this like massive pull candle that literally squeezes and crunches out all of this liquidity, breaking us into all-time new all-time high territories, and possibly with that really pulling us up into the 125 to 130, 135 levels. And who knows, we go into price discovery at that point. But the point is that you can see right down to about 110,000, there is absolutely nothing. So we're much closer to this area. If you can have a look once again, we're at 117,000. So the moment we break past, and I'm going to put an alert here for us, okay? And I will let you know once we do get that alert. But put your alert on your TradingView chart or wherever you need to know, and just in your mind, and just know that once Bitcoin breaks through that and closes a sufficient candle above that, liquidations, my friend, because obviously everyone's putting their stop loss above that little wick over there, right? Come on. I mean, we can see it so clearly. That's going to be just an absolute takeout. So I expect this to go right up there quite quickly. Boom. Okay. Something like this. Okay. That's what I expect to see from Bitcoin, which means that Bitcoin, so much liquidity is about to come back into Bitcoin again to push Bitcoin up, which will then also push Ethereum up, which will then also push altcoins up, which means that we're gearing up to the altcoin season, but have not yet started altcoin season. And therefore, I would be patient enough to know that once we start getting into this area here, once we break this little cup and handle pattern that we're about to really form shape here, that is when you want to literally dive all in. However, let's tackle those coins we wanted to talk about now. So first of all, let's split this into a couple narratives, starting with AI or ASI narrative. ASI is Fetch and AI Ocean and Singularity Net. I think we've spoken about that enough on the channel. The graph and a cash network, right? Modular chains like L2s, we're probably looking at the likes of Objective, possibly DYDX, Say, Sui, and Quanks, which I have previously mentioned on the channel a number of times. Go check my videos down in the search bar for Quanks and you will see for yourself. Okay. Infrastructure, real world assets, and storage. Arweave, for sure. You'll see I have a trade in Arweave. Chainlink, I have a trade in Chainlink. Tokemuck or Toke, I don't know the project, but I've heard a few things about it. So I'm just sharing with you a few that I believe may have some traction as well. I'll tell you where I have positioned and where I haven't positioned. Tensor, I have a trade and I have some on spot too. We then have DeFi and Perps. So we look at then Rune or Thorchain, which I'm in a trade. Jupiter, Gains Network, and Echelon Prime. If we look at gaming, we look at Illuvium. Illuvium, I've taken a massive position on Illuvium. and I'm now 105% in profit on my Illuvium trade based on the previous kind of rally that we've just had. Vulcan is a good token. Beam also good. Big time, don't know much about it again, but word on the street, it can be good. And now don't take my word for it. I'm just some dude on the internet, so I'm just sharing with you things that I've seen and that I'm looking at as well. I will tell you the narratives that I've positioned myself in, and I advise not to take any risk and not to take my advice at all, but really make your own decisions and choose for yourself what you'd like to do. So with that being said, the wild card draws that we could possibly be seeing is something along the lines of meme momentum. So there's a number of memes, and of course Pepe is one of those. The likes of Bonk, the likes of Woof, and of course a couple others. Okay, now all 25 of the coins that I've just mentioned, okay, they do have strong narratives. The low to mid caps and real technical setups are going to take and give us the 10x or more in the banana zone that I have just done and shared with you over the course of this video. Now let's go and have a look at the trades that I have opened before we move on. But make sure you're subscribed to the Crypto Bliss channel and community, and I truly appreciate you for being here with me. Now, here is the pure evidence that Bitcoin is now officially breaking up. It is breaking up above the median of the Bollinger Band. It's coming up to its resistance level right now. It's bounced off of the baseline of the Bollinger and the baseline of this bear flag itself. We're also bouncing off of the 50 moving average over here. I think that's a 50 moving average. Oh, it's the 200 moving average, excuse me. Bouncing up and above the 200 moving average once again. Getting ready with good volume, good stochastic momentum, good MACD momentum to the upside. And as you can see, my trade is working its way back into profit. I have not added more to my positions in Bitcoin right now. The last time I purchased and added to my position was right down here, if you recall. And of course, as you can see, I have moved my stop loss to just under 100K under this level here, which was really the red baseline that I would have expected us to have come down to, but we never essentially got there. And hence, the start of the bull cycle is now about to continue. So let's have a look at my trades. I'm going to go through them with you nice and gently, slowly. My say is now, so now I'm in about 20 positions on my Bybit account. Use my Bybit link down below and get yourself up to $30,000 deposit bonus. And let's trade together. But I'm going to talk about some of these trades right now. So let's go and have a look at say as an example. You know, say we're somewhat, okay, fine. Actually, with say right now, even though we're a little bit higher, you know, we're starting to get a run away from the risk curve. However, what I would say here is that once we break through this box here on say, look, we have the median of the Bollinger, okay? So right now, anything in this zone, above this zone right here, would be a good place to buy and accumulate for a long position. You can see where my stop loss is down here and where my liquidation is. I've opened it up so that there's no wicking that gets tackled. Once we get a breakout of this downsloping trend and we punch up here and we pull back, my friends, I will pull my stop loss right up to my entry level so that now I'm in a free trade. Do you see how you can use the small leverage position? All my trades are 5x. Most of them are 5x, okay? 1 or 2 are 6x. But you can use small trade positions to build up your positions as I have been doing here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Chainlink is up 46% at the moment, right? Look at where I bought Chainlink. Boom. Okay, and added to my position down here. See, thankfully I didn't get liquidated here because I realized that I needed to allow some breathing space here. And the most beautiful thing I can see right now is we've bounced very nicely off of the 200. We're breaking through this resistance zone. And of course, we are coming up to the downsloping resistance zone and to the median of the Bollinger. A candle close above all of that tells me we're very bullish on Chainlink, and we could see 20 bucks, 20.3 in the next short while. Algorand up 20%, right? When really there's a whole much greater picture if we look at algo on a higher time frame, and look at where we could essentially work our way up to, taking us from where we are right now, okay, in that position to possibly that resistance is 500% gain. If you've got a 5x leverage like I have and get up to the previous all-time high over the next 5 months, over the next 5 months, you've made yourself 2,500% gains, or a 25x just on trading, let alone your spot bags and everything else, my friends. And that's just one cryptocurrency. So I just want to make note to you, my beautiful community, you're still relatively early. If you didn't get down here, honestly, now's your look at this. This is the perfect example. We broke through, we retesting. Now's the time to buy. Okay, but I don't know if I'd buy right now on such high leverage, like 4-5 leverage is okay. Dogecoin up 23%. Okay, the same situation on Dogecoin is busy happening. Look at the width of the Bollinger Bands here. Make no mistake, this is going to be a massive V-shaped recovery right back up to those levels here right now. So you have moments left before you can basically enter. We've broken out of that level. We have to break out of that level and the median of the Bollinger Band. Once again, you can see all of them are pointing towards the exact same. Now my Solana, cool. My Solana's down a little bit. I haven't really focused much on my Solana position in that manner from a trade perspective. But honestly, I'm probably going to add some more to this position now before we break out of this downsloping trend line. I'll add a couple more dollars to this position here, and we'll essentially let that obviously take on its business. Now, I've got so much Solana. I didn't really want to go and trade it, but at the end of the day, like it's going to go up. It's going up. So don't leave profits on the table. Okay, so don't ride the banana zone down to the bottom is also what I'm trying to say to you. Theta, look at the buy entries here. We're still quite juicy on Theta at this point. And I see us, once we break up above these levels, a very good V-shaped recovery on that too. So honestly, if you're seeing my entry levels, even though I bought there, and my average is kind of where we are right now, doesn't that tell you that where it is right now is a decent enough position for you to give yourself some space? But yeah, look, I wouldn't add the stop loss below this bottom. I would try and do it below the previous bottom if possible, and that'll also be based depending on your risk appetite and your leverage. Now, XRP making me only 10% thus far. I've added a good chunk to XRP, which has broken out, okay, of the downslope. Found support here. We did break out, we retested, and now we're bouncing up. We are fast about to run on XRP, and just to the peak up here, really from where we currently are, is at least 20%. 5x times 20% is 100% on your trade, my friends. Do you see where it is that I'm going? That's good profit to take off the table. Even 10% is profit. So you're going to probably say to me, well, why aren't you taking profits on your tokens then? Well, my friends, because I have a specific strategy. And if you'd like me to do a video on that strategy very soon, then you need to let me know down in the comments below. Type strategy, and I will then possibly set some time aside for you this weekend to go through a strategy video. Now, once again, Ton Coin, I bought here, bounced, retesting here. Okay, we're getting ready to bounce off of that next stage there. All right, Cardano, haha. Wow, Cardano breaking out, my friends. Cardano breaking out. Okay. If I was to go onto my chart, it would have a buy signal here right now. Hence, buy. Buy. All right. We're going along on this. And the same thing for Cardano. Cardano has been absolutely suppressed down to the T here. And I just want to share with you how far we are from any sort of level, all-time high level on Cardano. That's 300%. We're doing 300% times 5x. We're looking at potential 1,500% move over the next short little moment. I think you get the point what I'm saying to you here. Rune down just ever so slightly. I'm going to continue to show you my trades because, like I said, I want to reveal where I am in my positions and what it is that I've done. So now you can see here my liquidation, my stop loss is below my liquidation. So I actually have to bring this up. I'm going to do that. Okay. Protect myself. I don't want to get liquidated. Okay. I don't mind getting stopped, but I don't want to get liquidated. Same thing, breaking out here. Next level, pumps up here, $1.50. Okay. Injective up 20%. I did tell you that I was on injective. That's also breaking out. I guess you see the point, my friends. All of crypto is actually breaking out. SUI is up now 10% on my trade, where it was previously like 60% down. Okay, because I entered in here. Boom. Okay, but what did I do? I added more to my baseline. It's breaking out. Echelon Prime. Okay. In a trade, they're all 5x. Echelon Prime hasn't really given us a proper signal just yet, but it's getting there and it's finding a baseline and a double bottom on that zone. AVAX kind of sitting at 1%. Okay, I bought more AVAX. Boom, boom. Okay, so again, my money is where my mouth is, and here we are now having a couple $1,000 in trades in terms of value, getting ready to make tens of thousands of dollars coming soon. The last one I want to share is Tensor. There's two more, excuse me. Tensor. Okay, there's Tensor, my friends. Again, I bought lower, getting ready to pump through. Let's put the resistance levels where they are. And last of all, I mean, I've shown you render, and super is the last one. Now super is looking amazing, and really I think I might even add more to my super because we haven't quite actually broken out of there, but we found support on the 200. Look at that level, double bottom, stochastic MACD. We're getting ready to break out of here. I think I'm going to add more to my super position here, my friends. I hope you are feeling powerful, positive, and I'd love for you to come and trade with me. You can see here all my trades. One last little squiz. Of course, there's a couple in the red. That's okay, but everything else is now starting to get into the green, and we only really starting to get a breakout level here. So if you're prepared to make some good money with me, use my Bybit link down below. Make sure that you are signed up to my Crypto Bliss channel. You've got the notification bells on because there's going to be videos being fired out at the community here, and we're going to see how we can all make massive gains. So I leave you with this last few moments here. The way that you will turn 10K into 1K into 10K, 10K into 100K, 100K into a million K, and a million into 10 million. Well, scenario one, okay, your 10K portfolio, you need to be able to spread that probably across 5 to 7 small to mid caps with a target of 10x, right? Which takes your 10K to 100K. Go heavier on higher risk narratives like AI, gaming, and memes to achieve those targets. Scenario two, where we're going to take your 100K and make and turn that into a million, right? You would take your core portfolio, which would be an estimate of about 30% into the ETH BTC duo, right? Then 50% of that will end up in mid caps, 20% in small caps, And we are looking for a target of 5 to 10x, which will take the range from 100K to 500 to a million to a million. Scenario 3, we're going to take the million and turn that into 10 million. Now, not all of us have $1 million just yet, and if you do, I'm not so sure if you'd be spending it in such a way. But honestly, if I had that, I absolutely would be doing what it is that I'm pointing out to you here. Capital preservation here is the focus. You want 40% of that portfolio, so $400,000 odd in ETH and BTC. You want 30% of that in yield generating DeFi so that you're earning passive income on that money. And you want about 30% of the remainder in altcoin narratives plays broken down into layer ones, kind of mid caps, and then very much gaming, DeFi, and high risk tokens like meme coins. A realistic target for us is possibly anywhere from 3 to 10 million if executed with rotations and good exits, i.e. taking profits. The key rule: rotate out, don't ride the banana to the ground. The final strategy that I have in place for you here, okay, is how to stay sharp during the absolute madness. Use TradingView. I have a link down below to get yourself some discounts for trend reversals. Use Telegram and Discord groups to obviously follow APLHA that you should be following. My channels are not up to date there. I only focus on YouTube at this point because I run multiple businesses that require a good amount of my attention, and I absolutely love building. So we will be able to track your gains. Okay, track your gains using an Excel spreadsheet. Take profit at 200, 500, 1,000% gains. Come on, just be realistic with yourself. Stay emotionally neutral and exit when it feels euphoric. You only need one cycle to change your life, but only if you move with a system. So make sure it's this cycle. So in ending and in summary, the banana zone is where fortunes are made and lost. You are early, but you must act with clarity, with speed and control. Make sure you hold back on the video to check my top 20 coin breakdown, my position sizing guide, okay, that I've just expressed to you, my portfolio rebalancing strategy, and of course, like this, if you're fired up to make massive gains with me this cycle, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next alpha drop that I'm going to do. Make sure you comment below banana zone activated if you're ready to change your life in the next 6 months. See you in the moonlight.